which is so great that I got excited about the future. Thanks for having joined us. We're going to actually call a couple of our partners up to join us as well. Treb Ryan is the Chief Strategy Officer for Dimension Data from California. He's going to come on stage. And Ramy Nahum, who is from Triple Cloud in Israel. Treb, how's it going? Good, good. Ramy, shalom, Here's my Hebrew. We'll start with you, Brad. That was a great presentation. It seems like you've got it all together, but there's got to be something that's keeping you up at night. What are you most concerned about as you move forward? Well, aside from our 5 kids, honestly, as I think about right now, there are really kind of 2 things that I worry a lot about. One is we've got a huge portion of our customer base that's sitting on 2003. Okay, greater than 40% of the Windows Server base is sitting on 2003, and the end of life for 2003 is July 15th, 2015. So many organizations are now coming up against the deadline where XP ends of life in April. The next one on that is 2003. So how do we help our customers upgrade is really the thing that I'm most kind of concerned about right now. But I think that's a huge opportunity for everyone here too as well. I would encourage you to think about things that you can put together about how to help organizations modernize their data centers. If they're running on 2003, for heaven's sake, they're running on technology that's 10 years old. So I think there's programs that we can put together as a group to help people upgrade. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is how do we get innovation out to you faster? You've seen us do things like the cadence between 2012 and R2 was a year. I don't think we're ever going to go back to the days where there's 2 to 3 years between releases. Competitively, it's not good for us, it's not good for you. And so how do we make it easy and simple and build the confidence of all of you and us that as we release new versions and new capabilities, that you can get that deployed rapidly and you don't feel you have to wait a year in order to deploy new capabilities. And those are the 2 things that I worry a lot about.
Treb, you heard Brad, he's concerned about his modernization and customers. It looks like you've been able to be part of driving a certain amount of adoption of these new OSs. What's really happening here?
Well, and he hit some of the really good points about why people are needing often. It's a big driver for hybrid in the environments. And people love what they saw up here. They love that immediacy, right? The availability. They love the constant development and change. And these are things that people really like about the cloud. And when they have apps they can get out there and workloads they can put out there, they're consuming at a humongous pace. But there are so many hard problems we solve for enterprise clients who have legacy applications, who have data sovereignty requirements that require them to keep it in a specific data center or require to keep it in a specific country. They have latency issues between their existing infrastructure and what sits out in the cloud. And what we've been working on Microsoft with is when you have a need for a private cloud, because you have a specific workload that won't work on the public cloud today, or you have a data sovereignty requirement, we can give you the same kind of experience you get with that public cloud, as a service, continually updated, not even once a year, once every 2 weeks as new features are coming in, and all delivered in that kind of hourly API addressable fashion, without having to put everything onto the public cloud. And so you can get the same experience you would get with Azure, but still have to fix some of the harder problems that, if you were to start fresh, you would never do, that still exist in your workloads today.
Ramy, you heard Brad make the case. From an engineering perspective, why would you want to go in this direction?
Why? This is the first time that a major vendor in the world is taking a platform that he's using and he's willing to give it to business partners. We are in this area for 5 or 6 years now, competing with local cloud providers and major cloud providers, mainly with Amazon. We in Israel, the biggest competitor is Amazon. And we are struggling because we are building our own platform by ourselves. We are a small little company. And it was like a dream come true to hear Microsoft willing to give Azure as an Azure bank to us as a business partner to operate our services and to deliver our services to customers. And then to have the ability to have a kind of other business partner use the same platform all over the world and to use Azure as a hybrid cloud altogether. It amazes me. I jumped into it. First day I heard about it, even though We are a major VMware business partner. Sorry about that.
We'll get you mentioned.
We are,
Actually, on that point, I actually think that I need to do a better job of adding value in a VMware environment.
Well, but that's, you know, and that is, since we're obviously pumping up about what we're excited about working with Microsoft, it's always been the best value with Microsoft over the last 10 years, is that you look at what our end business is and say, you know, here's how what we have to deliver to our clients. This is what they want. This is the hourly pricing they want. This is how they want to consume it. And you help us with solutions that will get us there. You know, one of my all-time favorite stories about another vendor that we do a significant amount of business with was they had done a new pricing change. And I always ask this question too, and I get to raise the hands whenever I speak at one of these events. How many people know why it's called the cloud? Do you?
My definition might be different than yours.
Well, but it was called the cloud because that was the drawing for the network, right? And the internet. And I said, it was the drawing that represented the internet. And all of our architecture drawings, and we'd say it's in the cloud. I go, you know what that means? All of our stuff is on the internet. You know what my price points are. You could look them up any day. This isn't some hidden mumbo jumbo. You want to charge me more than we were charging our client for the same service, just for the software licensing. And that is a repeated problem I have with a lot of the vendors in the space is they don't look at what you're trying to deliver as a service. And Microsoft has always been very good with us in seeing what our end product is going to be and how we can do that profitably with Microsoft products.
I do want to comment on that. I think we'll do everything that we can, and certainly I would love to have everyone running on Hyper-V. But I think the reality is I think you need to start where the customer's at. And I think you need to be able to start where the customer's at and say, how can I add value where the customer is at right now, earn that trust, earn that privilege of being that partner. And then we all move into the future together. So I think one of the things you hear me saying here is I think I need to do a lot better job of even adding more value into the VMware environment than we've done in the past. And it's something we're certainly working on.
yeah, I'll give you an example for that. We are thinking of a way to build the service on an hourly basis for years now, and we can't do it. And Amazon is kicking our butt. This is the first time when we are going to use Azure platform that we have the ability to do that. As simple as that. One day, get the platform, we can do it.
Music to your ears, Brad? What's
That
that?
is all music to your ears.
No, it is. But it's. I wish I had the passion that comes out. I think it's wonderful. Literally, the intent here is to take what we're learning in Azure and give it to all of you, because we look at all of you, and in many ways you could say, hey, the service providers of the world are kind of the new OEMs. You've got relationship with customers, you've got relationship around the world. It's interesting. We had a paper written a couple of years ago that we entitled 300, 3000. Okay, and it was asking the question, how many hosts are there going to be in the future? Are there going to be 3? Are there going to be 300? Are there going to be 3,000? And I think our view is that there's going to be thousands. And so how do we, together as an industry, bring together the solutions that really do add value to customers, where the customer is at right now, and help them move into the future? And so that's our commitment.
Well, you mentioned this in your talk, and I mentioned it as well, with the Internet of Things, with all these devices going online, say by 2020, 50 billion sort of exhaust pipes, essentially. How do you, either to you, Treb, or to Ramy, when you look at the new adoption of technology, how do you take that into account as you're thinking about your own future? How do you expand your infrastructure? How do you think about that?
We always look at what's happening in the consumer world and how that's going to apply then into the business world. You have I was talking yesterday about the story of my daughter who only checks her mobile phone once a day, the minute she gets up until she goes to sleep. And you think about this girl who's 16 years old and is a cheerleader, cute and stuff, and she uses technology 10 times more than I did when I was 16, and I was the treasurer of the computer club. My kids are, you weren't even the king of the geeks, Dad, you're the treasurer of the geeks. And that's how involved these people are. I actually saw a recent study that shows that 50% of college graduates are, the technology of the company they're going to work for is influencing their decision about where they will go work. If you're going to go up and pick out a couple easy ones, and someone hands you a BlackBerry the day you walk in, they're not going to want to work there. And so what it is how do we take what they expect from the internet, right? The immediacy, right? The availability, the constant update. No one ever says, I'm going to wait till the next version of Azure before I upgrade. It just comes Monday when you log in, and apply that to more enterprise type problems, where obviously issues of security and data sovereignty and legacy applications and latency are very important. So you can get that same kind of experience, right, that you would get as you would if you were using just the regular internet on your day-to-day basis.
No, that's great. That speaks to the demographic reality I was talking about in my opening remarks about the culture that's got to change when it comes to technology. Ramy, for you, what does your future look like as you hear this happening?
Well, in Hebrew we say we are small countries surrounded by enemies. And that's the reality. That's life for us.
On the bright side.
And in my age, I would like very much to embrace technology, to understand technology, to move forward. I want to make money. I want to do a lot of things. But there is one thing that is a kind of a dream of mine, to bring technology to our neighbors. There is this guy, which is a business partner of mine from the West Bank. He's a Palestinian and I'm an Israeli. And we are working together for 20 years now, doing business, technology and everything. And I have this dream to build a cloud together, mutual Israeli-Palestinian cloud. Maybe use Azure-backed technology. Together, combine together, have all the knowledge that we Israelis have, and we have some knowledge. Deliver the knowledge to Palestinians, and to build an Arabic cloud. Now, an Arabic cloud is not just a phrase. We, the Jewish and the Arabs, are working, writing the other way around. We are reading the other way around. So try to build an Arabic cloud with Arab-speaking language, professional services, and try to break the barriers between the two peoples, between the peoples that you traveled in the Middle East. Lebanese, Syrians, Jordanians, Egyptians, all the Muslim countries, all the
We've got a Nobel Peace Prize forthcoming for somebody here on the stage. I'm hoping that headline says something along the lines of Windows Azure Pack helps bring world peace. You can't ask for more than that. That's epic, guys. Brad, Ramy, thank you so much for your contribution and for sharing your ideas with us. We're actually going to take a break for lunch, but before we go, this afternoon we have a number of great keynotes and panels.